Thank you very much.
It's Kaufman is Alive. I look at comic books new and old. Today I'm looking at a new comic book, X-Men number 10 by Marvel Comics, Legacy number 310. It's a $4.99 comic book. Got a cover here that's illustrated by Ryan Stegman. Got J.P. Mayer doing the inks on this. Marte Gracia doing the colors on here. Really awesome cover. I actually saw on Ryan Stegman's Twitter account he had shared that Tom Brevoort, the editor on the X-Men line currently, sent him a thumbnail sketch of this particular drawing and wanted him to create it for this issue of X-Men for this cover, which he obviously did. So conceptually a really awesome drawing. I love, you can tell Cyclops is like spinning around shooting his optic blast. I really like the telephone poles here in the background too, with the wires kind of making up for all the dead space that would have been there. This doesn't actually happen in this comic book, although it's probably something Cyclops wishes he would have done. To some of these guys who work for ONE, which is the Office of National Emergency, which are the adversaries of the X-Men we're kind of dealing with in this book. I love the old school kind of X-Men layout here for this info page. I like that they show the team. On the very first page, we get a whole lineup here. This is Cyclops' team, as opposed to Rogue's team, which is in Alaska. I feel like Cyclops' team has been a bit more rebellious. They seem kind of dangerous, which is different for Cyclops, who's usually the guy who straight and narrow follows the rules, right? So this is post the Raid on Grey Malkin storyline that's been going on the past couple months. The X-Men crossover between this book and Uncanny X-Men. We had Ryan Stegman doing the cover, but we got Netho Diaz doing all the interiors. And he's an artist that I've really come to enjoy a whole lot. One of my favorite X-Men artists going right now, or just Marvel artists, I should say. Comic book artists in general. One thing I just found out recently too is that Ryan Stegman, the other artist on this X-Men book, and Netho Diaz was also the team on Vanish, which was a book I picked up. I just never pieced it together that these are the same two guys now working on X-Men. So Vanish was the Image book that came out by Donny Cates a couple years ago, and like I said, had Ryan Stegman and Netho Diaz doing the pages on that. So in this story, we've got ONE, like I said, the Office of National Emergency, kind of the generic group that hates mutants in this book. They've descended upon the Alaskan base here, called the Factory here in Merle, Alaska. We got Glob here making an appearance. He's kind of the chef for this team. Magneto, he's succumbing to this degenerative mutant disease, so he doesn't have his powers right now. Like I said, we got Netho Diaz on artwork. I love the opening splash page here. He draws awesome hands, which I'm going to be pointing out all throughout this review here. Netho Diaz is just hands everywhere, and they're all really well drawn. So they've been picking up all these mutants, and a lot of them don't have powers necessarily that are meant for battle, and they're kind of afraid they're going to have to battle these guys. But Cyclops shows up here with the X-Men team, and he explains that he's enacted the Hellions protocols, which we find out what that is coming up here shortly in this book. And Cyclops gets a meeting with Agent Lindquist here, who works for the ONE organization. Some really cool looking faces here on Cyclops. I've really liked Netho Diaz's pages and the issues that he's done just as much, if not more, than the Ryan Stegman ones. Some more great hands here. So the Hellions have been sent by Cyclops to destroy all the one bases all over the country. So a lot of these people are like former Mutant Liberation Front members. Got Phantom X here making an appearance. Boom Boom, formerly of X-Force. Jesse Bedlam, King Bedlam, and Locust. So, and as Cyclops is having this meeting with the agent, the agent is slowly starting to figure out that all of his bases are being taken out by the Hellions here. I love this panel of Cyclops' face. Cyclops really kind of taken the position that Professor X, I felt like, kind of had on Krakoa, where he's kind of menacing and really living up to the mutants being hated and feared. And the things he's saying to Agent Lindquist here, basically that they've got mutants that are as powerful as any nuclear device. So striking fear into the hearts of the humans here. We've got the Hellions again taking out another base here, battling this Sentinel. Awesome Sentinel hand here. Love the pose on Phantom X down there. Bedlam says, "We're Hellions. The name means something, and the sooner you understand that, the better." So maybe the Hellions becoming more of players in this X-Men book or this X-Men line coming up. Who knows? Seems like the Hellions lineup continues to rotate from year to year, much like the X-Men in general. So many X-Men books. Again, we get the checklist of all the X-Men books. Deadpool, Wolverine, Magic, Uncanny X-Men, X-Men, Exceptional X-Men, Psylocke, Storm, Wolverine, X-Factor, Phoenix, X-Force, Mystique, Sentinels, NYX, Laura Kinney, Cable, Helverine, Rogue the Savage Land, Sabretooth, Dead Don't Talk. And they even throw in Avengers and Namor into the X-Men line now, I guess. Which is pretty interesting, to say the least. So there's this funny question of the month to some of the creators here. Most underappreciated character in the extended X-Men family, and Joe Casey answers Stacy X. Insert your own joke here, which is pretty great. If you don't know who Stacy X is, Google it. Or go read Uncanny X-Men around issue like 400 or so. Just some great pictures of Cyclops here. Some portraits of Cyclops. He threatens the Phoenix coming back if Lindquist pulls the trigger. He says his wife could come back. Who knows what she could do to the planet. And then Kid Omega asks Cyclops if what he said about Jean Grey and Phoenix is true. And Cyclops says, "Yes, that's why I have you on the team, Kid Omega, because you're the only telepath powerful enough that could help me control the Phoenix if it comes to that." So I don't know, and Kid Omega doesn't like the sound of that. So pretty cool issue. Not a whole lot of action going on. We get the Hellions doing their thing, and as Cyclops has this conversation, but some awesome artwork in here by Netho Diaz. Again, he's one of my favorite artists going right now. Go check out his stuff. He's done Daredevil Black Armor, Vanish, like I said. And that's about all I got today. So thanks again for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next one.